All right, everyone, welcome to Large Group. We will get started now. Those of you who have not yet met me, my name is Chad McLean. I am the coordinator for University Strategies. So if you have any questions, feel free to come by and talk to me. I'm up in Web, room 617. There sometimes. Today we've got 4 presenters from our advising services, and they're going to talk to you a lot about the services you have that will help you kind of navigate, especially getting started at NSU, but a lot of things are going to help you throughout your time here. So you really want to pay close attention to what they talk to you about today. Before we get to them, I've got a couple of announcements we want to work through. First one is, how many of you brought your iClicker today? Many of you did. Wonderful. We were going to use them today, but yesterday we had a problem with the base, and so we didn't use them then, and so I decided we're not going to use them either day, just so we're kind of uniform. So thank you very much for bringing your iClicker, but we will not need it today. Next week we will, though. Okay? Now, if you have not yet registered your iClicker, follow the instructions that come with the clicker. And if you're having troubles, again, feel free to come by and find me, and I'll be happy to walk you through it. Hey, come on in. Now, you're sitting in rows so that we can take attendance, because we were going to use the clickers for that. So, peer instructors, if you would please pass along a notebook or something and get the names of the people in your class. Make sure that you sign up for the class that you are in. It'll save a lot of confusion. Okay? Any questions about that? All right, as those are going around, I have a couple more things I want to talk to you about. Now, first one is your assignments for week 1 are due when? Tonight. What time? 11:59. So, get it done if you have not completed it yet. Now, if you've had issues with the Blackboard Instant Messenger, how many of you had problems with that? Some of you have. Some of the problem, I think, is the way you're accessing Blackboard Instant Messenger. And so if you go, let me show you one way you can get to it where it's not the directions that are given to you, it's another way to do it. See if this works for you. This is for when you're on a school computer. If you go to the Start Program, or Start button, and go to, let me start over, go to All Programs, and then right here it says Blackboard Instant Messenger. If you open that folder, the very first one will launch Instant Messenger. So if you go in there, you'll put in your username and password, and it should probably be the same as you have for your other accounts to log on to computers. When you go in there, you'll then be able to get into Instant Messenger. Okay, that's just another approach to get to it. Try that. If that does not work to solve the issue you're having, please let me know. Just checking my announcements here, and I think that was the last one we needed to do. Oh, there was one last thing. Some students have been having difficulty submitting assignments on Blackboard, and I guess part of the problem could be that they're trying to do it on their phones. If you run into issues like that, switch over to a computer and see if it solves your problem. Okay? All right. That is all the announcements. We're going to hear from our 4 advisors, talk about the different services they have, and at the end of that, we might have a couple of minutes and we can talk, answer any questions you have, and go from there. All right, thank you very much. Here we go.
Okay guys, I'm just going to kind of give you an idea about what advisors, my clicker just messed up just a second. Okay, I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about some things that advisors can help you with. First of all, we're going to help you with your schedule. We're going to help you plan out the classes that you need to be taking. We know your requirements that you need for your major as well. But a lot of you might not have a clue what you want to major in, and that's okay. So we're going to help you explore the different options out there for you. In addition, we're also going to help you get connected to the different resources available to you on campus as well. So again, my name is Ashley Vineyard, and I am a university advisor. I help students who have not declared their majors yet. Every semester you will be required to meet with your university advisor, and we're going to talk a little bit about some of those meetings in just a minute. But once you do decide to declare your major, you're going to get an academic advisor, which again, you'll have hold with them that require you to meet with them. But it's all meant to help you. We're going to help you stay on track. We want to make sure that you're taking the right classes. And we'll kind of talk about when you need to actually take those classes. Another resource available to you is going to be a faculty advisor. And they're just serve as an additional support system for you as well. So it's someone you can go to ask about your classes. If you have questions about your major, you can talk to them as well. So as a student, you do have a role. We want you to be familiar and read the catalog carefully. We want you to be kind of familiar with the different degree programs. We want you to start looking at those and thinking about those. But we want you to ask questions. We want you to actually feel like you can come and talk to us if you are confused about something. One important thing, when you do schedule an appointment with your advisor, it's really important that you try to keep that appointment, write it down somewhere that you think you're going to actually remember it. But sometimes I understand stuff happens, you can't actually make your appointments, but contact your advisor, let them know so they're not holding that spot for you. We've got a couple appointments coming up that you are going to be required to meet with us once in the month of September and once in the month of October. The September appointment, we're going to go over a few different things. There's going to be an assignment that we're going to talk about in a little bit, is going to be the MapWork survey, and we're going to be discussing the results of your survey in our first appointment. In addition, we kind of want to have an idea of how are you doing in classes? Do you think you need tutoring services? Are you struggling anywhere? We'll also show you about a tool called DegreeWorks, and it's a really cool tool that we just got maybe about a month ago, but it's something that you can start plugging all the classes you've had, and it shows you what you have left to take. So it's something that'll help you start following along the path that you need to be on. In October, you're going to meet back with us, and we're going to go over another one of your assignments called DegreeWorks. And this is, not DegreeWorks, the roadmap assignment. The roadmap assignment is going to be planning out your general education classes. So if you have an idea of what you want to major in, that's great, because we can start gearing some of those classes towards what you're going to major in. How many of you have already declared your major? A few of you? Okay, that's really good. I just kind of wanted to be clear about who you're going to be meeting with. So in September, this is for those who have declared their major. In September, you're going to meet with your university advisor. In October, you're going to meet with your academic advisor, so who was assigned to you for your particular major. They'll help you do that roadmap assignment. I'm going to actually go ahead and show you how to make an appointment. You're going to be receiving an email from all of your advisors that will show you how to make an appointment. There'll be a link at the bottom of the email that you can just click on. But just in case you misplaced that email, I'll show you a really easy way to make that. So right on the directory, right up here in the upper right hand corner, you'll just type in the last name of whoever your advisor is. And it's going to pull up their picture, which you'll just click on. And out here at the bottom, there'll be a You Can Book Me link that you can click on. And it'll slowly pull up. But it's really cool because it pulls up my exact schedule, shows you the different times that I have available, which you can just click on one of these. And once you make that appointment, it'll send you a confirmation email so you know exactly where you're going, what time it is. And then another cool thing it does, let's say you make it 2 weeks from now, well, it'll send you an email 24 hours before your actual appointment to help you remember, because I know it can be easy to forget those sometimes. But I'm going to go ahead and bring up Katie, and she's going to go ahead and talk about GoNSU with you. But real quick, I'm just going to remind you one more time, before you make those September appointments, make sure you take the MapWork survey first, and then come in and see us. But we'll talk about that in just a second.
Okay, I'm also a university advisor here at NSU, but in addition to that, I'm also a student. I'm working on my master's here, and so with GoNSU serves a purpose for me not only as an employee, but as a student, just like you guys as well. So what I want to do is just show you how GoNSU is going to be a really good resource for you guys to use to stay on top of things and stay connected to other other resources and opportunities on campus. This very first page is going to be just an announcements and events page, so you can keep up to date with things happening on our campus. Over here to the right is a quick link to things that you might need to utilize at some point. I'm going to focus primarily on the Students tab. Here you can see this is going to be your personal account information, things that are pertaining to you, with anywhere from your account balance to your financial aid, your degree works, and that sort of stuff. Here you see is the account. So this will tell you exactly what you owe the university, and it'll also reflect any payments that have been made on your behalf. I'll get a little bit more to that in just a little bit. Registration tools. Registration is enrollment. So this is the box that was utilized during your enrollment session this summer or here over the last few weeks when you've gotten enrolled. You have registration status, lookup classes, add or drop classes, concise student schedule, and a link to get your textbooks. So maybe at this point you might have misplaced or lost your schedule of the classes you're enrolled. It's all right, you can actually click on this link. Some of you might have already known this, but some may not. And you can actually pull up your course schedule for the semester. Blackboard. Go NSU does have a few quirks that you have to kind of work through, like we're experiencing right now. And the best thing to do is to just navigate through and learn how to manage those things. You can't mess this up at all. Going back to the Students tab, something important that you'll need to be paying attention to here in the next couple weeks. Now, just so you'll know, this information isn't available to you right at the moment, but here in the next couple weeks, if you need to view who your advisor is, you simply just select the term and hit go, and your advisor's name will pop up, and then you'll at least know who to be looking for in the directory. There's a link where you can email him or her from here as well. Another important button is that's going to be important to you here coming up, especially prior to spring enrollment, is the holds button. Holds are something that you're going to encounter at various times during your career here at NSU. There will be different types of holds that you'll see. One that we have mentioned already is the University Advisor hold. Basically, what this is going to do is prevent you from enrolling for the spring semester without getting advisement. You'll want to meet, as Ashley had mentioned, you'll want to meet with your university advisor in September and October. Once you have that meeting with your advisor, the hold will then be lifted. As you can see, I have a university advisor hold on my account as well, which indicates that I need to meet with my advisor prior to enrollment for the spring. You can see who the originator is, meaning what office do I call to get that resolved, because as I mentioned, you might have a hold other than a university advisor hold. There might be a financial administrative hold, which means there's a balance due to the university and you need to figure out how to get that resolved. Or some of you might be in athletics. There might be an athletics hold and you'll need to meet with the athletic director for that. There's various different types of holds that you'll run across, and it'll tell you what process is affected. Registration is enrollment. So if that process is being affected, you know then that you're not going to be able to get enrolled without meeting with the originator of this hold. Okay? Does anybody have any questions about that? Okay. The next section is the personal information box. It's very important that you have this up to date. The address and phone number and email and emergency contact that you have listed on here is going to be the address that the university sends any type of mail correspondence to. It'll be the email address that they send your emails to. And also, if something were to happen to you on campus and you were hurt or something to that nature, the emergency contact that's listed on here is the one that we're going to call. So I would like to encourage all of you to be sure that you check that as soon as possible and make sure that the correct information is loaded on there. It's very simple. You just click on the link. Up will pop your address and phone number. If it's wrong and you need to adjust it, you simply click on that, and this screen, it'll take you to this screen. You enter the correct information and click submit, and it will be up to date electronically and immediately. Here, the next section is the student grades. At midterm, which is in October, and final, you'll be able to view your midterm and final grades. To do so, you simply select the semester and hit go, and your grades will show up, and it will show you what you've made for the midterm and the final. Underneath that are 2 calendars that are pretty important to pay attention to as well. Student affairs is basically activities and events happening on all 3 campuses, the one here and NSU in BA and Muskogee. Student affairs will be different types of things like expos and lectures and different kinds of things that you might be interested in attending. So if there's something you want to check into, or you can find the details here. Academic calendar. This is going to tell you all the things you need to know as far as academics. For example, does anybody know when the last day to drop a class and receive a refund for it is? Any takers? Any brave souls want to answer that question? Whoever, yeah, yes, it is this Friday. So you have until this Friday to drop a class and not be charged for it. There's another important date that'll be coming up in November, which is the date in which you can drop a class and get a W. So if you end up struggling in a class and you don't want to get the D or the F, you can withdraw from the class and get a W. So those are some important dates. There's also other important academic dates, such as when spring enrollment opens and that sort of stuff. You can keep track of all of that here on the academic calendar. These next 2 sections over here are resources and websites that are probably going to be pretty important to you at some point throughout your NSU career. Anywhere from dining services, financial aid, health services, the registrar. Does anybody know what the registrar does? You can contact the registrar's office for anything such as forms for academic forgiveness, transcript requests, that sort of thing. Coming up here, requests and forms. This is another important, something that's pretty important right now. Some of you, your parents might be paying for your university, for your college. You might have a spouse that you want to be able to contact the bursar's office and talk about payments and that sort of stuff. In order for that to happen, you have to have consent, you have to have this form filled out. For example, I allow my husband to call and get information on anything that I have to do here on campus. Bursar services is my bill, so that big bill that I owe to the university, I do allow my husband to call and get information on that, as well as any financial aid that I'm getting, grades, conduct, if I were to have disability services, or if at any point I do become disabled, my husband can call and get information on that. All he has to do is call that particular office and give the security code, and he'll be able to get my information, which I will be changing this later, by the way. So you guys need to make sure that you fill that out if there's somebody that you want to be able to call and get your information. Because at this point, if you don't have that form filled out, you're the only one that's privy to that information. The next section is going to be financial aid awards. You can track your own personal financial aid status on here. So if there's any paperwork that the financial aid office is lacking to continue processing your financial aid, whether it be grants, loans, or anything like that, you can track it on there. All you simply do is click the link, select the aid year, and it will tell you here what is left for you to turn in or sign off on. It might be something as simple as accepting the terms and conditions or authorizing charges. And that is 2 steps that you need to do every year after you update your FAFSA. You will get an email notification about it. So if there's any hang-ups on your financial aid, you guys might want to start here and check and see what's going on with that. Okay, the next thing is managing your Bursar account. Now, some of you are probably expecting a refund here in the next couple weeks. I know that I am. What you need to make sure, now if you haven't done it at this point, that's perfectly fine. You've probably received the card from the Bursar services that allows you, it's a card that your refund will automatically be loaded on. If you prefer for the next semester to have it deposited into your checking account, account. It's really simple. You just click on that link that I just clicked on, Manage Bursar Services. And actually the instructions on how to do it are right here. But you just simply click Log into Bursar Services and it'll pull up eventually. Mine's going to look a little different because I do already have mine set up. And wait for it. There it is. So you would just click on e-refunds, and where mine says edit, there will be an add button, and you simply click on that. You'll need your routing number and your checking account number in order to update this information. So that's pretty simple. But if you haven't done it at this point, it's okay. You can do it for the next semester. And if there's any further questions that you have about that, feel free to stop by the Bursar's office or the financial aid office. And just so you know, when they mailed out the cards, they mailed it out to the address that's on your GoNSU account right now. Just so you guys know that. And that's pretty much all I have. Does anybody have any questions, concerns, comments? Please feel free to stop by the University Advising Center. Ashley and I are there, and there's several other advisors in that office that are happy to help and answer any questions. Our front desk is pretty knowledgeable, and if they don't know, then they'll find somebody who does. So that's all I have for you guys. I'm going to bring Crystal up from the from Student Academic Success. And I hope you guys have a great semester. You can clap if you want. It's your one.
Okay, while she's signing out, do me a favor, everybody, take a moment, stand up and stretch and wake back up, please. I know you're all in the after lunch and really like to be taking a nap right now mode, so please wake back up. At least they keep it cold enough in here to try to keep you awake, but the darkness doesn't help. Okay, so like Katie said, my name is Crystal Soderstrom. I'm with the Student Academic Success Center. We do serve as university advisors, so I know at least I have a section in here. I think one of my coworkers does as well. We will be your advisors for the remainder of the semester or until you declare your major, whichever's longer. That's not all we do though. We do a little bit more. We do help you just like the other university advisors with any questions you have until you declare. But we're also a grant program sponsored by the U.S. Department of Education. And we're here to help you specifically with 4 main areas. But essentially any question you have other than advising after you declare, you are welcome to come see us and we will help you out. To find our website and to find us, just go to SASC, so you don't have to type the big long name, and you're immediately at our homepage. On here, like Ashley showed you earlier, the appointment links, well, we have ours right here on our homepage as well. So if you can't find us in the directory, you can also come here and make your appointment if one of the 4 of us is your advisor. With that, like I said, there's 4 main areas. I'm going to talk about 3 of them with you right now. The first of which is academic consultation. Our grant has a few extra roles to it. I'm the coordinator of academic consultation services, which is a huge long title. But essentially what that says is I'm responsible for bringing all of the advisors on campus together along with the experts on the different systems and majors and things that we all need to know so that your advisors are trained to help you. Okay, that's my goal, is to bring everyone together to get them trained well enough to be able to help you with whatever you need during your advising sessions. Our career counseling services. We have a member of our office who directly works with career services here on campus, which means, yes, we can help with resumes and cover letters. Later on this semester in this class, you'll be taking what's called the Focus 2 assessment. How many of you have no clue what major you want? Just absolutely no clue. That's okay. That's where this assessment can help you. Again, how many of you maybe have 2 or 3 you're considering, but you're not for sure? Again, comment. It can still help you. When you take this assessment, your results are going to help us point you in a direction. It's not just going to talk to us about your major, though. It's going to tell us more about you and what it is you enjoy doing. So please, take it seriously when you do it. I don't want to go more into that because, like I said, it's not happening until, I believe, November, so you'll see it later on. What you do need to know about is through our outreach, referral, and follow-up, because you have a MapWorks assignment. Starting the 30th, August 30th, you will receive an email with a link, and I believe it's also going to be on Blackboard, for you to go in and take a survey. It will take you about half an hour to do, but this is not a test, because you already know all the answers. It's about you. Okay? Super easy to do because you know every single answer it's going to ask. Please take it seriously. I cannot stress this enough. We've had people try to rush through it, and they have to redo it because we can tell. We know when you just rush through it and clicked on things to get it over with. They end up having to go back and take another half an hour and go through it again because we do need those results about you. That's how we help you succeed. Okay? It's not a punishment. It's not a chore. This tells us where we can help you the most. Not just the survey, it also, every faculty and staff member on campus has access to MapWorks. That is so when you're in their class, if maybe you're struggling on an assignment, don't show up for a few days, happen to mention something that they are a little concerned about, they're going to do what's called a referral. That's going to come directly to our office, and then we're going to reach out to you either via phone or email and ask you to come in. Again, not a punishment. That says there's something that was noticed that we want to try to help you get past. How do we help you succeed? Keep that in mind. Our office is here to help you succeed. That's why we have success right in our title. So if we call you, please come see us. We're here to help. With this assignment, you have until September 7th to complete the survey. The moment you have completed the survey, go make your appointment with your advisor, because you have to have met with your advisor and written your reflection to turn in by September 21st. So you have 3 weeks to do it all. Sounds like a long time, right? If you procrastinate and try to do it all within that last week, you're not going to get to see your advisor. We each have 120 to 140 students assigned to us just through strategies. That means that last week, we cannot see all of those students. Don't procrastinate. Come see us. That way you have that half-hour time slot just for you, and we're not trying to rush. We don't have people waiting, and no one else is taking your spot if they happen to show up. Okay? Appointments come first. Any questions about the assignment? When do you have to take the survey by? September 7th. When do you have to turn in the complete assignment? September 21st. So, those dates are obviously important. If you haven't written them down, I recommend you do so. Learn who your advisor is. Every advisor for every section is linked through Blackboard. Okay, all of the instructors have done that for us. So you have your advisor within your Blackboard class. Okay, the fourth area is our learning assistance and tutoring. And this is actually, does anyone have any questions about the SASC so far? Nothing? Okay, this is where I'm going to hand things over to Tiffany, as this is her area of expertise.
Okay. Yes, one more person you have to sit there and listen to, right? I promise it won't be long. And tough beans, they gave me microphones, so you have to listen anyway. Okay, so as Crystal said, I'm the coordinator of learning assistance programs, and that's just a super fancy way of saying, come to me if you need help with tutoring. Okay? What I do is I make sure that students know all of the tutoring services available on campus, and I help get you there if you are having difficulty finding it on your own. If you need specialty assistance, come and talk to me. I don't mean ADA compliance, I mean something above and beyond that. If you need specialty assistance with tutoring, come and see me, okay? Most students are not aware that there is a lot of tutoring available to you on campus. And though we say it's free, technically it's not free. You've paid for it with your tuition, right? You've paid for it, use it, okay? Don't waste it. So what I'm going to do is show you some options that you have for tutoring both on campus and online. If you go to the Student Academic Success Center and click on the Learning and Tutoring tab, there's a tutoring services link, and it will take you to this page where we have all of our services on campus and online listed. Okay, now I'm in the process of updating this right now. Still the beginning of the semester. Some people haven't sent me their updated information yet. So keep looking at this page. I will keep updating it over the next couple of weeks, but if you can't find the information that you need, again, call me or come by and see me, okay? Take time to familiarize yourself with this page because not all tutoring centers are run exactly the same. Most departments have their own tutoring centers that they have set up, and so they will have different hours than everybody else. So pay close attention. For example, the communication and speech lab is tutoring by appointment only. Okay, now they do take walk-ins if they have the time, but it's fairly rare. Just like with the advisors, you need to schedule an appointment because we're so busy. It's the same with the tutoring. That's just a good rule of thumb across the board. If you can make a tutoring appointment, it's going to be a more successful appointment, number one. You're going to get in when you need to. You're going to be able to have the tutoring length that you need, the session that you need, and you're going to be able to cover everything that you wanted to cover within that tutoring session. I realize that sometimes there's a last minute thing, you didn't realize maybe you needed help with it, but if at all possible, always try to always try to schedule a tutoring session. And on that, nobody's going to walk into a tutoring center 20 minutes before class time and say, my paper's due in 20 minutes, can you help? Nobody's going to wait till 20 minutes before class time to write a paper? Yeah, I see the nobody's going to answer, right? Nobody's ever done that in the past. Just take the time to, this is part of time management, make sure that you plan for all of that. Math Tutoring Lab, it already has its new hours up, as well as the Writing Center. If you will notice, there is also going to be tutoring in the library for math, and that's going to be on Sundays, and that's going to be starting September the 3rd. There's also going to be writing tutoring that takes place within the library. So if you can't make it during the week to one of the regular regular tutoring centers, there are options for you as well, okay? So keep that in mind. All right, so what happens if you absolutely cannot schedule a session and meet face-to-face with somebody? You're just out of luck? Anybody awake? We have Smart Thinking, which is online tutoring, and it is available to you 24/7, okay? There's usually about a 24-hour turnaround on it, so once again, don't wait until the last minute to try to get online tutoring, but there are several options for you with this. You can actually do an online chat with the tutor, you can submit papers to be reviewed, you can schedule tutoring sessions. To get to the Smart Thinking, you actually will need to go through Blackboard. Okay, so mine's going to look a little bit different than yours, but when you go into Blackboard, you're going to go to the Student Resources tab at the top. And right down here at the bottom is the Smart Thinking. This is where you're going to be able to get into the program. As well, there's also the link to the Student Academic Success Center on Blackboard. Okay, so if you forgot how to get to it or you couldn't remember, what the exact wording was in order to search for it, you can actually go through this link here and it will connect you to us. So Smart Thinking is pretty simple, pretty easy, straightforward. You're all pretty tech savvy anyway. But there is a student handbook down here if you want to download that and read it over before you go into Smart Thinking and try to use it. Smart Thinking does not like pop-up blocker, okay? So you have to disable all of that. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like once you get in there. I believe the first time you go in, you have to kind of fill in information, just like any time that you log on for the first time to something. But once you have done that, it will recognize you every single time automatically when you go through Blackboard. That's because it is linked through Blackboard, so it will recognize you as who you are. A new feature of it is that they have a smart thinking app. So you can now actually get to your things if you need to, and you're not near a computer. I'll just show you, I have a personal archive already. I sent a paper through a couple of weeks ago just to see how smart thinking works. It worked very well. Within an hour of submitting my paper, I had an email confirmation that it had been received and that a tutor would be reviewing it. Within 24 hours, I had feedback on it. Okay? So it worked very well. In addition, I just had them check grammar and documentation, but I could have sent the paper back through 2 or 3 times to have them look at additional things as well if I had wanted them to. So know that that's an option. There are basically no limits to smart thinking. Okay, you can send stuff through as many times as you need to. There are no limits on how many times you can access it. In addition, the tutors on smart thinking are all educators. So that's a benefit. Just as with on-campus tutoring, and this varies depending on who is available at the time, but drop-in tutoring, notice that you have all of these selections, but over half of them are actually not available to you. So as with the on-campus tutoring, if you schedule a tutoring session, look at everything that becomes available. Okay, so even with smart thinking, with online tutoring, you still want to try to make appointments if at all possible. And I suggest you just get in here and play around with it. If you have difficulty using it, if you can't get it to pull up, whatever, come and talk to me and I can help you out with that. What questions do you guys have about smart thinking? Any? I can barely see. No? Okay. When you go in to get started, there are some FAQs down here. These are good links to get you started if you have never used it before. Okay? So a couple of things that I just want to remind students of. I think people get in their mind that tutoring is for stupid people. That's absolutely not the case, okay? Stupidity and smartness have absolutely nothing to do with it. Don't think that by going to a tutoring session that means you're not smart. That was always one of the #1 things that I heard when I tutored. I tutored in the Writing Center here on campus for almost 4 years. I will tell you that there are many different reasons why students might need tutors. Sometimes, say you're a good student actually, and you just want somebody to look over stuff again before you hand it in. Maybe you've been out of school for a while and you understand the curriculum, you understand the coursework, but you're having difficulty with the technology. There are all different reasons for why you might need a tutoring session. Don't avoid tutoring because you think it makes you look unintelligent, okay? It's important that you engage in it if you need it. There's been all kinds of research done. Students that engage in tutoring at least 3 times a week succeed academically above and beyond those who do not, okay? So just keep that in mind. Also, a good little thing to have planned out, if you have scheduled a tutoring session, don't just walk in, throw your stuff on the desk, and say, I'm here, fix it. Tutors are there to help you. They are not there to do your homework for you, okay? Also, if you are specific and tell them, hey, I am in college algebra, and all of a sudden we're learning about this little lowercase I that's supposed to be an imaginary number. What in the world is that? You know, if you need help with just that, if you need help with just formatting on a paper, you don't want them to necessarily look over the entire thing for grammar or mechanics. Be specific in your tutoring sessions and they will be more successful. They're going to be more likely to address the things that you are actually needing help with. Are there questions about tutoring? Online? On campus? No? You just want to get out of here? Go to All right, I'm going to turn it back over to Joe.
Let's give our presenters one more round of applause.
All right. So one quick question, a couple quick questions for everyone. Number one, MapWorks survey, when do you have to have that completed? Say it again, I'm sorry. Wonderful. And when do you have to have met with your advisor and have your reflection done for that? 21st, beautiful. Remember those days, it's very important. That is everything for large group for this week. Now, one reminder for you, next week is Labor Day weekend, we will not have large group. So if you show up here on Tuesday at 2 o'clock, you will be very lonely. Okay? Now, if we are done, if you have questions, come on up and